Are you contemplating the big question, should I marry? Well, you're not alone. It's a question that, at some point, reverberates in the minds of many. A question simple yet profound, personal yet universal. It's not just about finding someone, it's about deciding if you're ready to intertwine your life with another's in the most intimate way possible. The question, should I marry, is not one to be taken lightly. It's a question that has the power to shape the course of your life. A question that deserves careful thought, honest reflection, and a dash of courage. Each one of us is a unique individual with our own set of experiences, hopes, fears, and dreams. What works for one might not work for another. And that's perfectly okay. It's okay to have doubts, to question, to explore. That's how we grow, how we learn, how we make decisions that are right for us. Yes, marriage is a beautiful thing. It's about love, companionship, building a life together, but it's also about compromise, sacrifice, and navigating through life's ups and downs as a team. It's not always easy, not always a bed of roses. So if you're grappling with the question, should I marry? Know that you're not alone. We've all been there. We've all felt the weight of that question, the uncertainty, the fear, the excitement. We've all wondered if we're making the right decision, if we're ready, if it's the right time. And that's why we're here, to explore this question together, to delve into the pros and cons, the considerations and implications of making this life-changing decision, to provide a space for reflection, for understanding, for learning. Not to tell you what to do, but to equip you with the tools, the knowledge, and the insights to make an informed decision. So let's embark on this journey together. Let's delve into this together, exploring the pros, cons, and considerations of making this life-changing decision. What does marriage mean to you? An intriguing question indeed. As we delve into the depths of understanding marriage, it's essential to recognize that perspectives on marriage can vary vastly. For some, it's a romantic fairy tale, while for others, it's a solemn social contract. Yet beneath these diverse viewpoints, there lies a common thread, the understanding that marriage is more than just a romantic relationship. It is a partnership, a commitment to share life's joys and challenges, and a promise to nurture and support each other throughout life's journey. Imagine two professional dancers performing a complicated ballet routine. They leap, twirl, and glide across the stage, their movements perfectly synchronized. This is what a marriage should ideally be like. It's not just about the individual performances, but how well they complement and blend into each other. It's about knowing when to lead, when to follow, and when to simply be there, providing support. Marriage, in essence, is a partnership. It's about working together towards shared goals, supporting each other in personal endeavors, and creating a harmonious balance. It's about acknowledging each other's strengths and weaknesses and leveraging them to create a strong, unified team. It's about celebrating each other's individuality while also cherishing the unique bond that you share. Before deciding whether to marry, it's crucial to understand yourself. Marriage is a commitment that weaves two lives together. But before you can effectively intertwine your life with someone else's, you must first understand your own. You see, the key to a successful marriage lies not just in understanding your partner, but also in understanding yourself. So, what does understanding yourself entail? It's about knowing your values, your goals, and your expectations. It's about recognizing what's important to you in life and how those priorities might align or clash with those of a potential spouse. Let's begin with values. Are you someone who values freedom and independence, or are you more focused on security and stability? Understanding these core values can help you figure out what kind of partner and relationship will best suit you. Next, consider your goals. Do you aspire to travel the world, start your own business, or maybe write a novel? Your ambitions and dreams can significantly influence your marriage. They can shape your daily life, your future, and even your partner's life. So, it's essential to consider whether your goals harmonize with those of your potential spouse. Finally, let's talk about expectations. What do you envision for your marriage? Do you expect a romantic partnership, a lifelong friendship, or perhaps a mix of both? Your expectations can set the tone for your relationship, and understanding them can help you communicate your needs better. Now, you might be wondering, how do I figure all of this out? Well, self-reflection exercises can be a good starting point. You could journal about your values, goals, and expectations. You could also ask yourself questions such as, what do I value most in life? Or what do I expect from a marriage? Remember, there are no right or wrong answers here. The goal is to gain insight into your own mind and heart, because at the end of the day, the better you understand yourself, the better you can understand what you need from a marriage. Knowing yourself is the first step in making an informed decision about marriage. Compatibility is more than shared interests. It's about shared values, goals, and approaches to life. Imagine a couple who both love adventure sports. They share the thrill of skydiving and the rush of white water rafting. But when it comes to life's critical decisions, they find themselves at odds. One is a risk-taker, ready to quit a stable job for a startup venture. The other prefers a more cautious approach, valuing security and stability. Their shared interest in extreme sports doesn't automatically translate into compatibility in other aspects of life. Compatibility, then, is a multifaceted concept. It's about how two people fit together, like pieces of a puzzle. It's about how they complement each other, making each other stronger, not weaker. It's about how they handle disagreements, how they communicate, and how they manage life's ups and downs. So, how do you assess compatibility? Firstly, observe how you handle conflicts together. Conflicts are inevitable in any relationship. The question is not whether they occur, but how you deal with them when they do. Do you both seek to understand each other's perspectives and find a middle ground, or does every disagreement turn into a battleground? Secondly, consider your shared values. These are the principles that guide your life choices. They include your beliefs about what's important in life, your moral standards, and your views on topics like honesty, integrity, and respect. If you value honesty but your partner sees little wrong with bending the truth, this could create friction down the line. Thirdly, look at your life goals. Do you both want children? Where do you want to live in 10 years' time? What are your career aspirations? If your life goals are poles apart, it may be challenging to build a shared future together. Lastly, consider your approaches to life. Are you a planner while your partner prefers spontaneity? Are you an introvert while your partner is an extrovert? While opposites can attract, significant differences in lifestyle can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. Remember, compatibility doesn't mean you have to be identical. It's not about finding a clone of yourself. In fact, differences can be enriching, bringing balance and fresh perspectives to a relationship. However, for a relationship to thrive, there needs to be enough common ground. Assessing compatibility is not an exact science. It requires open conversations, honesty, and self-awareness. It requires time and patience, but it's worth it, because compatibility is the foundation upon which a strong, lasting relationship is built. Compatibility is the glue that holds a relationship together. It's the thread that weaves two lives into one tapestry. It's the harmony that turns two separate melodies into a beautiful duet. So take the time to assess it. Your future relationship will thank you. How do you communicate and resolve conflicts with your partner? A simple question, yet it carries a world of implications. When it comes to the long haul of marriage, the ability to effectively communicate and resolve conflicts with your partner becomes a cornerstone. Imagine communication as the bridge that connects two islands. This bridge allows emotions, thoughts, and ideas to travel freely between both islands. It facilitates understanding, fosters empathy, and fortifies the bond between two souls. But if this bridge is weak or broken, the connection falters, and the islands drift apart. Effective communication, therefore, is the cement that strengthens this bridge. It's about more than just talking or listening. It's about understanding and being understood. It's about expressing your feelings and thoughts clearly, without fear or hesitation, and genuinely listening to your partner's perspective. It's about creating a safe space where both of you can be open and honest without fear of judgment or criticism. But let's face it, even in the healthiest of relationships, conflicts are inevitable. They are like storms that threaten to damage our bridge of communication. But remember, it's not the storm, but how we navigate it that matters. That's where conflict resolution comes into play. Healthy conflict resolution, like a skilled navigator, guides us through the storm, ensuring our bridge remains intact. It's about finding a middle ground, compromising and respecting each other's viewpoints. It's about not letting our emotions cloud our judgment and not letting our pride get in the way of our relationship. It's about learning to say, "I'm sorry," and mean it, and learning to forgive and let go. So how can you foster effective communication and healthy conflict resolution in your relationship? Here are a few strategies. First, practice active listening. This means not just hearing, but truly understanding what your partner is saying. It's about giving them your undivided attention and responding with empathy and understanding. Second, use I statements instead of you statements. For instance, instead of saying you never help with the chores, say I feel overwhelmed when I have to do all the chores myself. Third, learn to manage your emotions. When conflicts arise, it's easy to get carried away by our emotions, but it's important to stay calm, take a step back, and approach the situation with a clear mind. Lastly, seek professional help if needed. There's no shame in seeking the guidance of a counselor or therapist to improve your communication and conflict resolution skills. Remember, communication is not a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one couple might not work for another. It's about finding what works for you and your partner and continuously working on it. Communication is the lifeline of a relationship. It's what keeps the relationship alive and thriving, so invest in it, nurture it, and watch your relationship blossom. Money matters in marriage. It's not about how much you have, but how you manage it together. Financial considerations are a crucial aspect of any relationship, and marriage is no exception. It's vital that you and your partner are on the same page when it comes to your financial goals and habits. It's not about who earns more or who spends less. It's about understanding and respecting each other's financial boundaries and aspirations. Consider this scenario. You're a saver, always stashing away money for a rainy day or a future investment. Your partner, on the other hand, is a spender, believing in living in the moment and enjoying the fruits of their labor now. This difference in financial habits could lead to tension down the line if not addressed early on. So, how do you navigate these financial waters in your relationship? Open and honest communication is key. Discussing money matters might seem like a daunting task, especially if you and your partner have different financial habits. But remember, it's better to have these conversations sooner rather than later. Start by understanding each other's financial history. What are your partner's spending habits? How do they manage debt? Do they have any financial obligations that you should be aware of? This information is not meant to judge or criticize, but to gain a clear understanding of where each of you stands financially. Next, discuss your individual financial goals. Maybe you want to buy a house, start a business, or save for a dream vacation. Maybe your partner wants to pay off student loans or save for retirement. Understanding these goals will help you create a joint financial plan that respects both your ambitions. Remember, you're a team now. Your financial decisions impact each other, so it's important to come up with a budget that works for both of you. This budget should take into account your combined income, expenses, savings, and debt. It should also allow for personal spending so each of you has some financial independence. Dealing with finances in a marriage also means planning for the unexpected. Life can throw curveballs your way, and it's important to have a financial safety net to fall back on. This could mean having an emergency fund, insurance, or a contingency plan in case of job loss or medical emergencies. Lastly, consider seeking professional advice. Financial planning can be complex, and there's no shame in seeking help. A financial advisor can provide guidance and help you navigate your financial journey together. Remember, money matters in marriage, but it doesn't have to be a source of conflict. Open communication, mutual respect, and a unified approach to financial management can ensure that your financial journey together is a successful one. Financial compatibility is essential for a stress-free marriage. Are your life goals and future plans aligned with your partner's? This question is a cornerstone of any relationship, especially when considering marriage. It's not just about what you want to achieve individually, but what you both hope to accomplish together. It's about sharing dreams and carving out a future that reflects the aspirations of both partners. Aligning life goals and future plans is much like setting a course for a ship. If your destination is in one direction but your partner's is in another, it's going to be a rough journey. But if you're both heading in the same direction, the voyage tends to be smoother and you're more likely to reach your destination. So, how do you ensure your life goals and future plans align? It all starts with a conversation, an open, honest, and sometimes challenging discussion about where you see yourselves in the future. Do you both want children? What does your ideal retirement look like? What are your career aspirations? Where do you want to live? These are just a few of the myriad questions you might need to explore. Don't shy away from these conversations. Instead, embrace them as an opportunity to understand your partner better and to allow them to understand you. Remember, it's not about agreeing on everything. It's about understanding each other's perspectives and finding common ground. It's also important to revisit these conversations over time. People change, circumstances change, and so do our dreams and goals. What you wanted 5 years ago might not be what you want now, so keep the lines of communication open and be willing to adapt and adjust your plans as necessary. One crucial aspect to consider is the balance between individual and shared goals. It's essential to maintain an individual identity within a relationship and to have personal aspirations, but it's equally important to have shared goals, dreams you both want to achieve together. This balance is what gives a relationship depth and dimension. And remember, compromise isn't a dirty word. It's a necessary part of any successful relationship. Sometimes you'll need to adjust your sails to help your partner reach their destination, and other times, they'll do the same for you. That's the beauty of being in a partnership. You're not alone. You have a teammate, a confidant, a co-captain on this voyage of life. In conclusion, aligning life goals and future plans isn't just about making sure you're on the same page. It's about creating a shared vision for your future, a vision that respects and incorporates both partners' aspirations. It's about journeying together, hand in hand, towards a horizon filled with shared dreams and possibilities. Shared dreams and goals make a strong foundation for a marriage. And remember, a strong foundation can weather any storm and stand the test of time. It's normal to have doubts. What matters is how you deal with them. Now, you might be wondering, how on earth do I deal with these doubts I have about marriage? Well, that's a fantastic question, and it's what we're going to delve into today. Firstly, let's put this out there. Doubts and fears are not a sign of impending doom. They're a sign that you're human. You're about to make a significant decision, and it's completely natural to question it. You're not alone in this. Everyone at one point or another has doubts, whether it's about marriage, a career choice, or even what to have for dinner. It's part of our decision-making process, a survival instinct that keeps us from rushing headlong into potentially harmful situations. So, how do you deal with these doubts? Well, one way is to confront them head-on. Ask yourself, what am I scared of? Is it the fear of commitment, the anxiety of the unknown, or the worry about what could go wrong? Once you've identified your fears, it's easier to tackle them. You can also try writing down your doubts. Sometimes, putting thoughts on paper helps us see them more clearly. It's like having a conversation with yourself, and it can be a great way to work through your concerns. Now, it's important to remember that not all doubts can be resolved on your own. Sometimes you might need a little help, and that's perfectly okay. If you find that your doubts are overwhelming or causing you distress, it might be time to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors are trained to help you navigate through these kinds of issues. They can provide you with tools and strategies to cope with your doubts and fears. You might also consider reaching out to trusted friends or family members. Sometimes a fresh perspective can help clarify things, and remember, it's okay to lean on the people who care about you. Lastly, give yourself permission to have doubts. You don't have to have everything figured out. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to question. It's okay to seek answers. Marriage is a journey. And like any journey, there will be bumps along the way. But these bumps, these doubts and fears, they're not roadblocks. They're signposts guiding you towards the answers you need. So remember, it's normal to have doubts. And dealing with them doesn't mean you're weak or indecisive. On the contrary, confronting your doubts shows your strength, your willingness to face the unknown, and your commitment to making the best decision for yourself. Facing your doubts is a sign of strength, not weakness. So embrace your doubts, face them, and remember, you're stronger than you think. Ultimately, the decision to marry is a personal one. We've explored various aspects of this life-altering choice together, from understanding what marriage truly entails to reflecting on our own selves, our compatibility with our partner, communication styles, financial considerations, life goals, and even our doubts. However, at the end of the day, the final call rests in your hands. This decision is not one to be rushed. It's much like standing on the edge of a high dive, looking down at the pool below. You know it's a long way down, and it can be a little scary, but you also know that once you take the plunge, it can be an exhilarating ride. The key is to ensure you're ready to take the jump. It's perfectly normal to feel unsure. After all, it's a big decision. It's a commitment that will shape the course of your life. It's okay to take your time, to ponder, to weigh the pros and cons. It's all right to seek advice, to talk to friends, family, or a counselor. It's even okay to step back if you feel you're not ready. Remember, there's no universal timeline for these things. Everyone's journey is unique. Some people might be ready for marriage in their early 20s, while others might find their stride in their 30s, 40s, or even later. It's not about when society thinks you should be ready, but when you feel you are. Also, remember that it's not a decision that has to be made alone. If you're contemplating marriage, chances are you have a partner who's in the same boat. It's essential to have open and honest discussions with them, understand their perspective, their fears, their hopes. This is a journey you would be embarking on together, after all. Moreover, don't let external pressures cloud your judgment. The decision to marry should never be made because of societal expectations or because it seems like the next logical step. It should come from a place of love, respect, and readiness to share your life with another person. In the end, it's about trusting your instincts. Your heart and your mind are your best guides. They've led you this far, haven't they? But remember, it's not just about what feels right. It's also about making an informed decision. Consider everything we've discussed throughout this series. Reflect on your relationship, your partner, and yourself. So take your time, think it through, and when you're ready, make the decision. And remember, it's okay to be unsure. It's okay to have doubts. It's okay to take your time. This is your life, and you're the one in control. Trust your instincts, but also make an informed decision. Deciding whether to marry is a significant and personal decision. It's not a choice to be rushed, but one that should be made with careful consideration and a clear understanding of what it entails. Today, we've journeyed through a comprehensive exploration of the different aspects to consider when asking yourself the question, should I marry? We began by understanding marriage, not as a societal norm or an expectation, but as a deeply personal commitment that binds two people in a unique bond of love, companionship, and mutual respect. It is a union that demands effort, commitment, and a willingness to grow together. We then moved on to the importance of self-reflection. It's crucial to know oneself, one's desires, and one's dreams before committing to sharing a life with someone else. We talked about how important it is to be comfortable with who you are and to understand what you want from life and from a partner. Next was compatibility, a key element in any successful relationship. We discussed how having shared values and common life goals can create a strong foundation for a marriage, but we also acknowledged that differences aren't necessarily detrimental. They can indeed add richness to the relationship, provided there is mutual respect and understanding. Communication and conflict resolution, too, are vital. We emphasize that good communication is the lifeblood of a healthy relationship, and how developing skills to resolve conflicts amicably can strengthen the bond between partners. Financial considerations, often overlooked, were discussed in detail. We highlighted the importance of financial transparency, planning, and agreement on financial goals and responsibilities. Life goals and future plans were our next stop. A shared vision of the future can act as a guiding light for couples. We talked about the importance of discussing and aligning on key aspects such as career aspirations, family planning, and lifestyle choices. Dealing with doubts was our penultimate point. Doubts and fears are natural, especially when making such a life-altering decision. We discussed ways to address these doubts, including open conversations, seeking advice, and taking time to reflect. Finally, we arrived at making the decision. We stressed that this decision is deeply personal and should ultimately be made by you. No one else can or should make it for you. In conclusion, marriage is a beautiful journey, but it's not one to embark on lightly. It's a decision that will shape your life in profound ways, so take your time. Reflect on what you've learned, both from this video and from your own experiences. Remember, there's no universal right or wrong answer to the question, should I marry? It's a question only you can answer for yourself based on your own values, desires, and circumstances. I hope this video has provided you with some useful insights and perspectives to consider as you ponder this important question. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Remember, it's your life, your decision. Make it wisely.